We all know lust. She's that guest who shows up uninvited, drinks all your wine, wrecks your house, and then texts you at 2 a.m. like nothing happened. At first glance, she's fun, exciting, electric, but she never stays for breakfast. Lust is a shapeshifter. It promises intimacy and delivers adrenaline. And if you're not careful, it can quietly dismantle your life. This isn't a sermon. This is an autopsy of desire, ancient, raw, and uncomfortably human. Let's start with the ancients, because they knew this beast before Instagram made it sexy. Plato said the soul is divided into 3 parts: reason, spirit, and appetite. Lust. That's appetite on a cocktail of steroids and romantic delusion. It hijacks your reason, seduces your spirit, and drags you by the collar into situations that end with you saying, "How the hell did I get here?" History is a wasteland of men brought to their knees by lust. Samson, strong enough to rip a lion in half, weak enough to get a haircut for love. Paris of Troy caused a 10-year war over a beautiful woman. That's not passion. That's poor decision-making with good lighting. Now, for the men watching this, let's be honest. You've been told that lust is natural, that chasing women is just being a man. But there's a point where it stops being pursuit and starts becoming dependence. The endless scrolling, the seeking, the hunger. It's not about the woman anymore. It's about the hit, the fix, like a drug. And the more you indulge it, the less power you actually have. The irony. The thing that's supposed to make you feel most alive ends up hollowing you out. And then there's post-nut clarity. That quiet existential moment when dopamine leaves your body like a departing spirit. Suddenly, the world looks dimmer, the illusion fades, and there's a voice in your head. Maybe it's Nietzsche, asking you if that was worth. But let's not pretend women are immune. Lust disguises itself as validation. If he wants me, I must matter. If he desires me, I must be enough. And so begins the spiral. Clothes get tighter. Self-worth gets measured in glances. But attention isn't affection, and lustful desire is not love, it's possession. It doesn't want your soul, it wants your silhouette. And here's the catch: you can be worshipped and still feel worthless. You can be told you're beautiful 100 times and still cry when the makeup comes off, because lust doesn't see you, it sees an image, a projection, a fantasy. And when that fantasy fades, and it always does, it moves on, faster than it arrived. Lust gives you intensity, not intimacy. It's fireworks without warmth. A bonfire on the beach that leaves you cold by sunrise. It feels like connection, but it's really collision. 2 people crashing into each other to feel something, anything, even if it's just for a night. In the modern world, lust isn't just tolerated, it's monetized. Every app, every ad, every scroll, a digital siren singing, "You're not enough unless you're wanted." We live in a pornified culture where desire is just a product. Swipe, click, consume, repeat. And the emptiness grows louder. The scariest part? Lust doesn't stop when it's satisfied. It stops when you're exhausted. When your soul can't take another empty touch, another fake connection, another moment where you mistake being used for being loved. But here's the quiet truth. Lust is loud, but real love, real connection, whispers. It asks for patience, vulnerability, depth. It's not exciting every moment, but it's real. It sees you with the lights on. It stays. Lust is the fast food of the soul, addictive, tasty, but leave it long enough, and it will kill you slowly. Real love, it's harder to find. It takes more time. But it nourishes you in ways dopamine never can. So if you're caught in the loop, chasing bodies, collecting moments, pretending it's all fine, ask yourself, what are you really hungry for? Because it probably isn't sex, it's connection, meaning, stillness, and lust, no matter how shiny, can't give you that. You don't need to become a monk, you don't need to delete your dating apps tonight, but you do need to pause, reflect, and stop letting lust drive the car while your soul rides in the trunk. And if I manage to make you squirm a bit, that means I touched something true. Sit with it, let it sting, and maybe, just maybe, choose something deeper next time. Because once you see lust for what it is, glitter without gold, fire without warmth, you start noticing its fingerprints everywhere. In the urge to text someone just because you're bored. In the selfie that's not for you, but for validation. In the late night scrolling that leaves your spirit emptier than your inbox. And here's the hardest truth to swallow. Lust isn't just about them, it's about you. It's about the parts of you that feel unloved, unseen, unworthy, and how lust promises to fix that, but it never does. It's the band-aid over a wound that needs surgery. Healing begins when you look in the mirror and stop asking, "Am I desirable?" and start asking, "Am I whole?" Because when you're whole, you stop chasing what won't stay. You stop settling for breadcrumbs and calling it affection. You stop mistaking attention for intimacy. And make no mistake, choosing depth over dopamine is an act of rebellion. In a world designed to sell you fantasy, choosing to be real is radical. Sitting with your loneliness instead of numbing it, brave. Saying no to the easy thrill because you want something that lasts, revolutionary. The road back to yourself isn't glamorous, it's quiet. It looks like slow mornings, awkward conversations, learning to be bored without reaching for someone else's body. But over time, you realize something powerful. You were never unlovable. You were just listening to the wrong voice. So the next time lust knocks, draped in red lips, charming in DMs, polished in pixels, pause. Don't slam the door. Don't shame yourself. Just ask, what are you here to distract me from? And listen, not to lust, but to the ache beneath it. That ache isn't weakness. It's a map. And it might just lead you back to something real. Something that holds. Something that stays. And here's the thing no one tells you. The deeper you go into yourself, the more room you make for real connection. Not the kind that burns hot and leaves ash, but the kind that simmers slowly and warms your bones. You stop craving noise and start craving presence. You become less interested in being wanted and more interested in being known, because desire is cheap, but recognition costs everything. It means letting yourself be seen, not as a fantasy, but as a full and flawed human being. It means inviting someone into your silence, not just your spotlight. It means walking away from what flatters your ego and toward what feeds your soul. Lust is the perfume on the pillow, the ghost in the sheets, the echo of something you hoped would stay. But love is the quiet coffee on a rainy morning. The kind hand reaching for yours across a table long after the excitement has faded. It's the eye contact that doesn't ask for anything. It's someone who sees your scars and doesn't flinch. And that kind of intimacy, the real kind, only shows up when you stop being a performance and start being a presence. The work is not in finding someone. The work is in becoming someone who no longer needs to be consumed to feel valuable. Because when you're finally at home in yourself, you realize that lust was never about connection. It was about escape. Escape from your own loneliness, from your own ache, from your own fear of not being enough. But healing isn't found in escape. It's found in staying. Staying when it's uncomfortable. Staying when the silence is heavy. Staying when you'd rather run into someone else's arms than sit in your own skin. You become less reactive and more reflective. You stop grabbing and start holding. You stop searching and start seeing. And when you finally meet someone from that space of fullness, not lack, you'll notice the difference. You'll know it's not about conquest. It's about communion, not about fireworks, but about the fire you build together each day, slow, steady, glowing. So if you find yourself in another loop, another swipe, another almost ask yourself, is this what I want, or is this just familiar? Because sometimes we mistake comfort for connection, familiarity for fate, but your soul knows the difference. And it's patient. It will wait for you to catch up, to stop chasing shadows and start choosing light. Here's where it lands, where all the noise quiets and something true settles in. Because the goal was never to shame lust. It has its place. It wakes you up. It reminds you you're alive. But it was never meant to lead. It was meant to signal, not steer. To flicker, not to blind. When you learn to honor the signal without handing it the wheel, you begin to move differently. More grounded, less frantic. You stop performing and start connecting. You stop reaching out in panic and start reaching in with purpose. Real love will never compete with lust's volume. It doesn't need to, because where lust demands attention, love earns presence. It meets you in the quiet, in the patience, in the mundane. It's not just who texts first, it's who shows up and keeps showing up, even when the fireworks fade and the real work begins. So maybe the next time you feel that familiar pull, when the thrill starts whispering again, you'll remember this. You're not starving. You're just being sold hunger. And you don't need to be consumed to be seen. You just need to be held. And when you find that kind of love, whether in someone else or finally in yourself, you'll realize you were never chasing lust. You were chasing home.